Hi, welcome back. I'm Jeanette, the Northdawn Coach. I'm glad that you have joined me today as I continue my series of videos on what to do when you are in job search mode or about to step into job search mode. And the kind of common belief, if that is you, is, well, you got to get your resume together. Got to update that resume and get that out there to start applying for positions. And what I have been arguing in these videos is, well, I certainly understand why that's the common belief, and I don't want to dissuade you if updating your resume is something that you feel urgent about. However, there is a step that I believe will get you better results in the long term if you make this step. And we've been working through the kind of sub pieces of this over the course of the videos of the last several weeks. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, I'll drop a link so that you can catch up on what those previous steps are. But today we are going to look at another one of the sub steps that is important. So we have been using a framework called the logical levels of change. It's a framework that I often use with my career coaching clients who are in career transition or in a pivot. And it's very useful for getting clarity around exactly where are we going next, which is an important component to being able to update the resume. So we've been working through these logical levels. We have talked about that first level of the environment and what environment means and the set of questions related to environment. We have looked at the question of behaviors. What are the behaviors that you're utilizing? And then we have talked about, last week, skills and capabilities. This week, the category that we want to address are really values and beliefs. So one of the things that you'll notice as we work through the framework is it gets deeper and deeper. And in other words, like in what we hold close, the values and beliefs part are, they're different kinds of questions than when we're looking at the environment parts, and yet they're all interrelated. So often we think that the thing that we're wanting to change is a problem in the environmental level, and actually discover that it's an issue that's coming up in some of these other subsequent levels of the framework. So if it's showing itself in environment, well, then that next level, when we're thinking about the behavior sorts of things, what am I thinking and doing? That's likely to be impacting because it's directly related to what you're coming up with in the environment piece of it. And then, okay, I want to make a change in what I'm thinking and doing. That involves a skill or capability. That maybe there's a gap, there's a skill capability difference that needs to be explored there. And so that brings us into that next level. Well, related to, once we get through skills capabilities, then there might be an underlying change that is related to something that's going on at this current level, which is my beliefs and values, which are the things that we hold, fundamentally important to us. And so often when we're thinking about a transition or a pivot, there's some sort of values-driven misalignment that is occurring in the current position or the current expectations of the career. So it might be buried there, but when you start to dig underneath it, you discover, oh, there's some values misalignment going on. So maybe it's showing up in terms of there's something about the leadership of your organization that does not feel consistent with, your beliefs, your values around the leadership. It might not be particularly the content, but how the leadership is going about things. Maybe there's a lack of transparency and, authentic sharing of information is an important value to you. The course of the organization might not be the problem, but the way that it's showing up is a values misalignment for you. So various ways that can show up, but often some of the deep changes that are driving this desire to make a career transition or pivot are things that are not fully exposed in the environment level, changes that you can make there, but they're actually driven by, oh, there is misalignment around some other things that are really important to me. And once you have that information, well, then you can work with it. Then you can determine, okay, is there something that I can change about what this means within the current role and organization? Or if that is not an opportunity, then where can I go to find a better fit for these things that are important to me? But the critical piece is that you have clarity around what's coming up for you. Because often where we first think the problem is, it's actually nuanced and deeper than that. So once we expose what that issue is, or set of issues are, then we can adjust accordingly and look for what that right career transition or pivot might look like. There's still more to this model. We're getting to, kind of the end of it, but we're not done yet. So I'll be returning next week with more information on that as we explore it. If you'd like a helping hand in that exploration, or a listening ear, a brainstorming partner around developing career strategy, I encourage you to reach out. I offer a free, no strings attached 45-minute career strategy coaching session. The link to schedule that is in the description box. I encourage you to take me up on that offer if you haven't, and know that I am rooting for you in this process. It is not easy to do this work, but it's so rewarding to really look at, what is the right career fit for you at this point in time. So I commend you for paying attention to those details, and I assure you that it will pay off for you in your future. All right, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Have a good week in between. Take care.